Imagine a universe where time is not a fixed line, but a fluid battlefield, where past, present, and future intertwine, blur, and sometimes collide explosively. At the heart of this chaos stood the temporal fold station, humanity's greatest scientific achievement, built alongside its allies. A colossal structure that promised to master time, connecting distant eras to enable controlled travel and deliberate changes in history. But nothing went as planned. In a single fateful moment, the station collapsed, triggering a rupture that tore through the fabric of time. And from that wound began to emerge living fragments of a distant future. Armies, machines, and beings that weren't meant to exist yet. They invaded the present like ghosts from a war no one had foreseen. Rayan, a human soldier, lived an ordinary life until the day he came face to face with the ultimate proof that everything had changed forever. A future version of himself. But this version wasn't just any hero. He was the commander of the Devale, beings made of pure antimatter, relentless warriors capable of destroying anything in their path. Under his command, alien armies advanced through the timelines in an intertemporal war that threatened not only the present, but the very existence of time itself. Meanwhile, the Waigzar, mysterious time travelers with near-divine abilities, manipulated the board of this temporal game, seeking to ensure their own survival. And the humans of the future, genetically altered and evolved, fought to take control of the destiny of a fragmented humanity. Now, Rayan must choose to follow the path of his future self and lead the war, or to find a new way to save time and himself. Time is at war, and every choice echoes forever. The silence of the distorted landscape seemed to weigh tons in the air. Rayan felt his heart race, his breath heavy as if time itself was pressing. Down on his chest, in front of him, standing with a presence that radiated power and determination, was himself, or rather, a version of him that seemed to have crossed ages and endured the scars of unimaginable battles. The armor covering future Rayan wasn't made of ordinary metal but of condensed antimatter, a substance as unstable as it was lethal. Its surface pulsed with a strange glow, a near-living energy that warped the space around it. The future man's eyes were icy, hard as steel, but carried a massive weight, the burden of choices that had shaped entire universes. Rayan swallowed hard, his voice trembling. Who are you? How is this possible? Are you me? The man stepped forward, his piercing gaze locked on the present Rayan. I am you, Rayan, or what you could become if you choose this path. His voice was firm, a mix of authority and urgency. I came from the future, a future at war, a future where timelines shattered and created a battlefield where past, present, and future clash. Rayan took a step back, struggling to absorb the revelation. But why me? Why appear to me now? Because you're the key, the other replied. You carry within you the potential to change the course of this war, to lead or to destroy everything we know. I lead the Devale, beings of pure antimatter, relentless warriors marching through timelines to conquer what remains of the universe. But I'm not alone. The Waigzar, time manipulators, are also playing their pieces in this deadly game. Future Rayan turned his gaze to the horizon, a sky torn by temporal fractures, where echoes of battles and machines flickered like ghosts from a shattered reality. We humans of the future are different, genetically altered, evolved to survive. This chaos. But even so, we stand on the brink of extinction. Silence fell between them, heavy and unsettling. Rayan felt a mix of fear, curiosity, and a strange sense of destiny. I don't know if I can trust you, Rayan said at last. Are you still me, or a disguised enemy? The man gave a tired, sorrowful smile. I asked myself that question, too. That's why I came here. To show you that the Echo War isn't just an external conflict. It's a battle within ourselves, between who we were, who we are, and who we might become. A distant boom cut through the air, a reminder that time was broken, and the war had already begun. You will choose your side, Rayan, and that choice will echo forever. Rayan was not the kind of hero destiny usually picks. He was an ordinary soldier, not a legendary warrior, nor a natural-born leader. Just a man carrying the scars of smaller battles and the burden of a world worn down. Before the temporal rupture, Rayan's life was marked by routine missions, camaraderie among soldiers, and the constant effort to protect what little remained of humanity. He knew the smell of fear, the sound of explosions, and the pain of loss. These were his constant companions. But the collapse of the temporal fold station changed everything. Suddenly, the time Rayan once knew became unpredictable, unstable, a web unraveling moment by moment. He saw future soldiers appear like ghosts before him, unknown machines emerging from nowhere, and alien beings that shattered everything he believed about reality. Amid this chaos, Rayan was thrown into the center of an intertemporal war where strength was no longer just physical, but mental and spiritual. He faced a hard choice: to follow the dark path his future self had already taken, or to fight for a new chance, a new future yet unwritten. The truth was, Rayan wasn't sure who to trust. Each step could lead him closer to salvation, or to the abyss. But something inside him still resisted, a stubborn flame that even the distortion of time couldn't extinguish. The future version of Rayan was an imposing figure, almost mythic, shaped by cruelty and necessity. He was no longer just a man. He was a commander forged in the flames of the intertemporal war, a leader burdened by decisions capable of altering the fate of the entire cosmos. Under his command, the Devale, beings of antimatter, marched relentlessly. Across shattered timelines, these creatures were more than soldiers. They were unstable entities, able to disintegrate and reform, attacking simultaneously across multiple dimensions, living weapons against any resistance. The armor surrounding future Rayan pulsed with dark energy, warping space around it, a sign of power beyond human comprehension. His eyes reflected a cold determination born from endless battles and immeasurable sacrifices. He spoke with a deep voice, full of authority and fatigue. "I carry the weight of a war without end, a war where time itself is the battlefield, and every second lost could mean the end of existence." But there was something in his eyes, a shadow of doubt, a spark of humanity still struggling to survive beneath the armor and the power. He knew his leadership was necessary to confront the forces threatening time, but he also felt the war was eroding his very soul. "I fight to protect a future that may not even deserve to be saved," he admitted to present Rayan. "But if I don't, time will break forever, and nothing will remain." Future Rayan was living proof that the Echo War was not only an external conflict, but an internal one. A struggle between the man he was and the monster he had become. While Rayan grappled with his dual existence, another force moved in the shadows of time, the Ixar. These enigmatic beings were the true masters of temporality, time travelers, with near-divine abilities. The Ixar were not mere soldiers or invaders. They were strategists who manipulated timelines with near-artistic precision, rearranging events, creating paradoxes, and building entire empires at pivotal moments in history. Their appearance was ethereal, almost translucent, as if they were made of time's own light, shimmering through past, present, and future with eerie grace. They spoke in codes that sounded like music, carrying hidden meanings and intentions that only the wisest could comprehend. To the Ixar, war was not just a physical battle, but a cosmic chess match. Every move, every sacrifice, had a higher purpose, to ensure their survival and control over time's flow, and they watched Rayan and his future self with interest. Because to the Ixar, the human soldier was not just another piece. He was a wild card, a potential disruptor capable of changing the entire game. Some Ixar wanted to ally with Rayan, offering knowledge and power to help him master time. Others saw him as a threat that needed to be eliminated before causing irreversible damage. Caught in this temporal labyrinth, Rayan was surrounded by forces that defied logic, struggling to decide who to trust and how to use time to his advantage, before becoming just another forgotten echo. At the heart of the Echo War stood the humans of the future, beings no longer entirely human, evolved by necessity to survive a collapsing universe. These future humans had undergone deep genetic modifications, merging their DNA with advanced technology and even fragments of alien genomes. The goal was simple and brutal: to create soldiers capable of withstanding temporal chaos, surviving where normal biology would fail. Their abilities went far beyond what ordinary humans could imagine: enhanced reflexes, near-instant regeneration, amplified senses, and a direct connection to the temporal stream, allowing them to detect ruptures and manipulate fragments of time around them. But that evolution came at a price. Many future humans bore invisible wounds, fragmented memories, deep trauma, and a growing sense of alienation from what humanity once was. For Rayan, meeting these soldiers was like looking at what he might become: a being torn between machine and man, between hope and despair. They fought not only to save the future, but to preserve what little remained of their identity. Every battle was an internal struggle, a war against the loss of self. And amidst them arose leaders and rebels, people who questioned whether such evolution was salvation or the final curse. Rayan realized his mission wasn't just to fight external enemies, but also the doubts and shadows within himself. What it meant to be human when time and war changed everything. Amid the conflict tearing through time's fabric, emerged the temporal fissures, unstable openings where past, present, and future entangled chaotically. These rifts were wounds, in reality, portals that opened without warning, unleashing echoes of wars yet to come, glimpses of lost civilizations, and horrors beyond human comprehension. For Rayan, stepping into a fissure was entering a place where anything was possible and nothing made sense. A strange realm where the laws of physics and time bent, where a minute could last an eternity, and where fate seemed to rewrite itself with every heartbeat. These spaces were both weapon and trap. Entire armies could vanish, be transported to alternate realities, or encounter distorted versions of themselves, enemies who knew their moves before they happened. Within these rifts, shadows of the past and potential futures manifested, creating absolute chaos. No one knew exactly how or why the fissures opened, but the elders spoke of a rupture caused by the collapse of the temporal fold station, an event that could have destroyed time, if not for the desperate intervention of unknown forces. Rayan felt, more than saw, that the fissures carried secrets that could end the war or herald a far darker fate. Every time he approached one, a voice whispered in the shadows of his thoughts, fragments of memories that weren't his, cryptic warnings, and a veiled promise. Time still held surprises no one was ready to face.